Hi, welcome back to the garden. Thought today we'd look at a way to beat the squash bugs and the vine borers. Thought we'd plant a little corn also. Come on, let's plant. Get a little bit of our composted garden soil. So how in the world is this going to combat squash bugs? Well, we'll take a look at that in a second. We do have some squash bugs, but our first strategy, everybody wants to plant as early as possible, and our first strategy is the neem oil, which has done a pretty good job. And our second strategy is anytime we see the eggs, I just take my thumb and roll them off, and we've got enough ants and other critters that swoop in and eat those. It's a pretty simple way to do it, and since you want to visit your plants every day anyhow, it's not a big chore. But these are the telltale signs that we do have squash bugs out here. We also have praying mantis that are at work eating them. And we don't spray very heavy. We only contact spray when we see them. And it's very easy to catch them and drop them in a pail of soapy water, and that'll do the trick also. It's been a couple days since we planted these carrots. Let's do our first little inspection, see how we're doing. I don't expect them to be germinated yet. But then again, I'm wrong. We want to make sure these stay good and moist. That's going to be the challenge over the next couple days. But if we leave them in too long, they'll get leggy, and the sun will just tear them apart. With as many seeds as I put down, they're starting. But I think one more day under cover will do them good. We'll check these again tomorrow. It's supposed to be 98 degrees tomorrow, and I want them to have the best chance possible. Okay, so what does a container have to do with stopping squash bugs? Well, we're going to start some more squash, and we're going to see if we can't get these going, ready to go in the ground about the time that the squash bug's life cycle is just about over, which should be in about 2 weeks. You know, a squash bug and a vine borer, they come out early in the spring, and unless you're in a really, really warm area, their life cycle only goes about 6 to 8 weeks. We did put a couple seeds in the ground. That's one way we're battling the squash bugs. I'm going to have some follow-on come up just in case. And who knows, we might be buried in squash. So let's get a couple seeds in here, then we're going to plant some corn. And I'm only going to put one per cell. I really am only going to put one per cell. And these should germinate pretty quickly in this warmth. I'll come back and put a little water on that here in just a second. Now, I got scolded for not marking what I put in these containers. So when I went and got my corn seed, I found a bag that was marked corn. So I have no idea. But if we saved it, we liked it. So come on, let's plant. Well, before we plant the corn in our seed tray, look at that. We had a few amaranths come up, and they got roots that have spread everywhere. So I'm just going to put this whole thing in here, because why not? One that we're playing with. These other two, I'm going to make 2 nice little rows. I'm still going to plant heavy, because I do. But we are going to make nice little rows. Do it a little more than roost stout. Make sure we got good soil contact, and then I'm just going to cover these a little bit. And just like with everything else, we're going to put just a light little layer of mulch back over, help hold that water in. Corn comes up through pretty easy. I do like these burpee seed trays. You get a little water down in the bottom and it helps. But you do need to watch your plants every day. Scrape the squash bug eggs off. Make sure your containers don't dry out. Make sure your new seedlings don't dry out, especially as it gets warmer. At least that's what I do. And you can do this too. And then you can put a squash in a hammock. Check this out. So the bag that the ladybugs came in, I split and put an extra string on it, and it seems to be a nice little cradle. I think I'm gonna have to do something for this. I'm gonna have to do something for this one too. And this vine's already attached itself to the trellis. We're gonna have competing cucumbers, beans, and whatever this is. So far, with the exception of the wind damage, trellising something this big worked out pretty well. And you can do this too. I hope I see you tomorrow for Tomato Trellis Tuesday. And if you want to learn more about the deep mulch, click that link and I'll meet you right back in the garden. If you want to learn more about things you can plant in June, click that link right there and I'll meet you back in the garden. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.